Okay, let us jump in. Andy, how do
Yeah,
you feel about getting left off of the title card all the time?
honestly, I'm gonna break some news. I'm part of the Blue Man Group, so I'm actually in the photo.
You're right there.
Can't see it. That's all. Yeah, we're,
Hiding
we're
in,
we're all good.
hiding in plain sight. I got to talk. Our designers hate Andy. They take him out of everything. They said he can't be on any more title cards. But spoiler alert, he's a part of every one of our webinars that we do. We can't live without him. Okay, so we're going to talk about automation, automating gift acknowledgements as background. I know we do have some new folks here today. This is a pretty widely popular webinar topic. I see a bunch of new names on here. This is who PSG is. We are a fundraising consulting firm. At least that's how we started. We're running multi-million-dollar annual appeals. All of our clients use Razor's Edge. All of them found it infuriating in different ways or needing some help. So we started building up a practice where we help not just raise money, but we help with Razor's Edge. And then that part of the world just kind of blew up to the point that we are now the largest user of Razor's Edge on the planet. We just manage millions and millions of records. Andy and Stacy and Austin and Rob and Lauren and the team. I could go on and on. So dozens of ninjas that work at PSG. This is all we do. We're fundraising nerds. We are Razor's Edge nerds. And specifically, we are automation nerds. So, in the course of our work for all of these large organizations, we started dabbling, and by we, I mean Stacy, started dabbling, Stacy and Austin, started dabbling in automation, right? How can we make things easier and streamlined inside of Razor's Edge? How can we make some amazing things happen? And that ball started rolling down the hill, and it just kept picking up speed and getting bigger and bigger to the point that what we could do now through automation is mind blowing. And word got out, and we started taking on clients that said, hey, we don't need the database administration, we don't need fundraising consulting, but we could use some help with this automation thing. And it grew. So everyone from the Field Museum, to many of the dioceses that we work in, Los Angeles and Denver, high schools, colleges. It's really big with healthcare foundations, like lots of national, Children's Hospital, Nemours in Florida. It's just amazing. So Stacy and Austin, the team, have been doing this for a while now. We're going to talk about one specific set of automations on gift acknowledgements that's going to blow your hair back. You hear about Automate Genius a lot. That is what we branded this work that we do, right? So PSG as a company does consulting, we manage databases, we do audits. Automate Genius is the whole division that we spun up just to handle this kind of work, where we go in and we build these automations that blow your mind. Led by the intrepid Stacy and Austin. This is from BBCon last year when you gave that presentation. It was so wonderful. It was standing room only about all the automations you're building. People love this stuff. Every year it's the biggest well-attended session at BBCon. And BBCon is coming up. So if you're a Razor's Edge person, you may or may not be going. And I'm actually curious. I've got a poll here. We're going to launch that. Okay, let us know if you're going, if you're going to be there live, if you're going to be there virtually, or if you're not attending this year. If you are going, even if you're not, we have people who don't go, you're going to want to see this. So on October 2nd, which is, I would mention, a really important day, that night Taylor Swift drops her most recent album. So come join us on October 2nd. We will cover everything about BBCon. We'll give you travel tips and restaurant recommendations. And then that night, we can all listen to Taylor Swift's new album together. The link to that, I'm sure Rob has dropped in the chat. But that is very popular. And Stacy, what are the odds that we keep it to 10 minutes this year?
I would say 0 out of 10.
Andy, what do you think?
If I were a betting man, and I am, I would take the over in that. We're going to go over 10 minutes.
We started this 3 or 4 years ago, and the idea is, well, let's just do a quick 10 minutes and tell people like, hey, here's the cool sessions we think, and here's some tips on getting from the airport to the hotel. And it was like 55 minutes long or something. So we've kept it in the title, but
Will not be 10
If
minutes.
people don't ask questions, it could be
Right.
10 minutes. If you want to just come and listen for 10 minutes, we can knock it out. But that's not how we roll. So that's why we're.
We'll have a lot of good information if you want to stay for all the bonus stuff.
That's right. There's bone. It takes me 10 minutes just to talk about how to get to the nearest kava and what you should order. Okay, so that's coming up. We're excited. We will see you all on October 2nd for the preview, the insider preview for BBCon. What is automation? I've used this many times before, but I know we've got a lot of new folks on here. This is the way to think about automation. A little book called Shoemaker and the Elves. The moral of the story, or I guess the background, there's this guy, he was doing a job, but he had limited staff and he was overworked. He could never catch up. He was stymied by an inefficient system, right? The guy's just building shoes one at a time, just just going ham on that leather every night, just making shoes. Couldn't ever catch up.
This is every DBA in the world, by the way.
Every DBA in the world. So
Shoemakers and DBAs. Go ahead.
like every DBA in the world, he's like, I can't catch up. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna I'm gonna throw all my stuff on a table and go to bed. Like that's what he did. And he woke up the next morning, and some wonderful little elves had done all of his work for him. And in this really strained metaphor here, Stacy and Austin are the elves that do your work for you at night. And that is, we joke, but honestly, it's a pretty good analogy for what automation is, right? Your job is brutal. There's tons of tasks that are boring and repetitive and a grind, and they involve so many steps and clicking. And the new world that we live in now in 2025 is that you can automate a lot of that to do the work while you sleep or while you do more productive, more interesting things than just clicking around inside of Razor's Edge. I'm going to share our most popular example to let people know what this is, and then we're going to spend the entire rest of the hour here talking about gift acknowledgements. So I encourage everybody, if you want to know what automation is, go here. So scan the QR code or go to the link easy.automategenius.com, and you will actually receive a sample of the automation, and it will just make a whole lot more sense to you when you get that. By the way, Andy, we have a whole new set of these coming out. Did you know that?
I do know that. Yeah, we've been working behind the scenes to kind of unleash some new automations. The team got together and kind of thought about what we could best use. And you, Nick, you've said it before, but many of the automations that Stacy and Austin and the team have built, we built for ourselves, right? Like we were like, these are things that we would use, and then we just kind of share it with the world. And so the newest iterations, the bundles, and we'll talk a lot more about them at BBCon here in a couple of weeks, really are intended to allow you to be more strategic in how you're using the automation system.
Yep. And this easy auto, if you haven't used it before, go check it out. Easy to automate genius. I'm going to show you what you get. But I got an email from Menke, who just joined the call at like 2 a.m. last night. He's like, I'm proofreading the new workflow, man. We're gonna get this thing up. I'm like, no, don't. We got another couple days. Like, don't kill yourself. Go get some sleep. Okay, so here's what you get. If you go to easy.automategenius.com or follow that QR code, you will see the simplest web page that ever exists. Ask you for your first name, last name, work email, all of which you've already submitted to be a part of
Like
this
an
webinar.
optimized form.
Yeah, it's an optimized form. Look at that. And you're going to get an email like this. So this is why I want you to actually do it, because you get the email and then you can show it around your office and be like, hey, this is really cool. Email looks like this. If your name is Nick, it looks exactly like this. It says, Nick, here's your daily donor report. This is what automation can do. And I share this because this is far and away the most popular thing that we do. Everybody's always wanting this. We call it heartfelt emails. But imagine you're a gift officer, right? Or development director or VP of advancement. You open your laptop in the morning and you get this email report, and you'll notice there's names on there and then there's these prompts. So let's click on Leslie Cooper here, made a gift above 1,000. What that automation does, and you can see this on your phone right now. If you scan the QR code, you put in your information, you have this. You'll notice when you click on that prompt, it drafts an email from you, from your phone, whether you use Gmail or Outlook or Thunderbird or whatever it might be. It creates it from you to the donor. That is the magic of automation. This is not a blast e-newsletter, right, with an unsubscribe link at the bottom that you're just pouring out there to thousands of people. This is you getting a note that says, hey, last night this happened. Leslie made a gift above $1,000. Here's a cool email we've drafted for you that you can edit and send. Or Mary's a first-time donor. Here's a cool email that we can use to welcome a first-time donor from a real person. So where you can go with this is endless. And we have entire webinars on this. I'm sure we'll talk about it at BBCon. But I just wanted to highlight, this is the easiest way I can show people. For the fundraisers in the crowd, like this is the moment when the light bulb goes off. They're like, oh, wow, that would be cool, right? You're telling me that I don't have to go live inside of Razor's Edge and log in and see what happened and pull queries and do all this stuff. You can just like serve up on a platter a list of the things that I should notice, right? A new donor, somebody paying off a pledge, somebody that missed a payment that normally gives at this time of year. And not only will you tell me about it, you'll like draft the email for me to review and send. It's amazing. So that is what automation can do. We call it heartfelt emails. Well, Andy mentioned we'll talk a lot more about the ways that we've been really effective using this. That is what automation can do. Now let's talk about a specific use case here, right? So this is now going to be the Stacy and Austin show. Gift acknowledgements, right? Stacy, what is a gift acknowledgement? What are we talking, like, let's talk there and then let's get into the examples here. What are we talking about in general here?
So for gift acknowledgements, we are talking about the formal letter that you sent to your donors saying, we received your gift of $5,000. We didn't give you anything for that. Please keep this for your taxes. You're the best. Here's a little bit about what your contribution is helping us to do, those kinds of things. So it's the formal official letter that you send out. Most of them that we do are a kind of combined receipt and thank you letter. So for those out there that do those as two separate processes, typically we do them as the same one, but we could do either or both.
Got it. Okay. And typically these are letters that get sent out?
Typically they are, yes, letters that are printed and mailed.
Got it. In worst case scenario, this is someone in your office who's hand typing a Word document every single time, like right, Mr. Andy Schrader at the top, right, deleting whoever she sent it to previously. Like that's worst case scenario, but still happening.
We have definitely talked to some people that are doing that, and I'm very, very sorry. There are a lot easier ways. There's ways that are a little bit easier and ways that are a lot easier. So if you're in that situation, definitely please look around for ideas, because we don't want you to be spending that kind of time on something that's kind of tedious.
Yep, 100%. And this also became a hot topic. I think it was 2 Decembers ago. So like Blackboard went back when they got rid of the connection to Microsoft Word. Like we're still living in the repercussions of that, right? It used to be there's a connection and you could push stuff right out to merge in Word, and then that went away for some security reasons. So everybody was kind of scrambling how to process. Okay, so that's gift acknowledgements. Austin, let's look at a client. Let's look at NC Central. Okay, so the task at hand is NC Central, like any university, has a complicated system, right, for deciding, who gets what letters. Walk me through like what we did, how we did it, how people can replicate this at home. So what are we looking at here?
So here's a mapped out version of their acknowledgement process. And it looks kind of scary, right? There's lots of avenues, there's lots of conditionals. This over here does that, and it talks to this piece. And what it really is just this bundle of logic that makes up their acknowledgement process.
And logic would be like at a university, it might be somebody made a gift and it was to the athletics department. So the letter should have athletics letterhead and be signed by the AD instead of the president or something like that.
Like basically anything that's coded on a gift, we can build a condition into it to make the letter be personalized to that coding.
Got it. Is it normal for a nonprofit to have something like this, like written down, like a map that's like, here's how our acknowledgement letters work?
Absolutely not.
Okay, good. Because a lot of people are watching
this usually it's the DBA has all of this in their mind, and they know all of the pieces that get slotted in and pulled out and all the conditions. And say they win the lottery tomorrow, I really hope you have this documented somewhere.
What's actually happening, Nick, is they're taking different piles of paper that are the different letterheads and trying to race to the printer after hitting print and switching out the trays before it actually starts printing. That's what's happening in real life.
I feel seen. So even if this isn't written out, it does exist. It does exist everywhere. Like there's something that's deciding how your acknowledgement letters work, right? Whether you've thought about it, whether it's in somebody's head, it exists. Whether or not you've written it down. But in theory, you could get to this with every nonprofit, right? Like in theory, no matter where you are, like you could sit down and ask a bunch of questions and get to the point of, okay, here's what's deciding who gets what. So Austin, you took that and then just automated it, right? So I want you to walk me through the steps. I'm going to put all these up on the screen so that they're there for you, but just walk us through what this looks like.
Yeah, so the first thing that we asked Rosalind, she's in the crowd today, about their process is sort of the specifics that she needed each letter to be on the lookout for, right? So those DAFs, do you include a tax statement? No. Okay, that has to be pulled off, but we want the DAF name included. IRA gets a different tax statement. Gift in kind, pull out the gift amount and put in the reference. Like all those intricate little changes that you might do or might have to account for. How do we know that based on how the gift is coded? And then the extra complication for them is different gift amounts get signed by different people, right? So being able to dynamically swap out that signer information and route the letters into certain groupings so that when they need to go print those letters off and get them signed by the chancellor, all the chancellor's letters are grouped together, right?
Yep. Yep.
My favorite part of this, though, is the data cleanup part. So, number 3, all those decisions you usually make after the letters are merged and the things you're fixing and the errors you're finding, we can make that happen before the automation runs, right? Whether that be we're updating something on a gift record because it's easy and it will always be this way, or serving that up to you on a platter so that you can then go do something with it, right? Like some problems are just better solved by humans.
Yep. Yep. Got it. So when we say you did this, what did we do this in? So for the folks that haven't attended these before, you want to talk about what Power Automate is and how it works with Razor's Edge?
Yeah, so there's a Power Automate is a native app in the Office 365 suite in Microsoft, and it's just an engine. Think of it like a robot, right? So we're just telling the robot, every morning at 9 a.m., kick off the process to merge letters. And at the end of it, send an email to these 3 people with their folder and send an email to these 3 other people with their folders, right?
Yep. Yep. So all this was built in Power Automate, connecting to the Sky API inside of Razor's Edge. And I love that analogy. Think of it as a robot. So if I can back up, if you can get to this point, which looking at the chat, a lot of people are trying to get to that point, but it's a moving target. But in theory, I mean, and this might be the harder, well, they're both hard, but this may be an equally hard part of getting to this diagram so that you know what happens and what's guiding the decisions. Then you can do what Austin and our team has been doing, which is then just build the process, right? Automate it. If this happens, create this letter, make it look like this, and then route it to this person. What does it look like when we say route it? Like, how is this actually delivered to the client?
So this can be routed however you like, right?
Yeah.
So in this case, it could be routed to the deans of the specific schools so that they can print their letters and their notifications.
And they get something like this, right? Like what we're seeing on the screen.
Yeah, you get a direct link to the output files, right? So you get a direct link to the merged Word document, and then you also get a link that includes a spreadsheet with all of the gifts included. So if you have, like NCCU does, lots of those sort of output groupings, you can see all the gifts in one place.
And somebody asked about envelopes. You could also, I assume, have a little things like, hey, click here for your envelope file to print.
Yes, and it's merged in the same order, right? So when you print both of those, they line up.
That takes all the fun out of it. Like half of development is like lining up letters on a big table and then envelopes and then like matching. Okay. Sorry, Andy.
Yeah, no, one of the things I want to mention, and this comes up a lot when Mickey and I are talking to folks, who are interested in this, right, is the deliver this not that's happening. Stacy and Austin are incredible, but I look at letters. I need to go and add it. You have the ability to go in and tweak those letters, add a PS, or like put stuff in, take stuff out if you want to. That is part of the process, and it's just important for the folks that are first timers here to know that we're getting you 99.9% of the way there.
Love it. Okay, so let's talk about those outputs. That's perfectly way. So, Austin, I hear. So when Stacey was talking about acknowledgements, I'm always thinking letters, right? Like that's been the process up to now. It's like, okay, what's donors make gifts? What's the process by which we're sending them the letter, and what does the letter say, and everything else? It's part tax receipt, part marketing, and everything else. But now that you can automate it, this opens up a world of possibilities, I assume, right? So tell me about email versus letters and what we can do here.
Yeah, so if a donor has an email on their record, right, this opens the door that you can automatically send them an email with their letter as an attachment, a PDF attachment. So that saves you so much time, right? If you can just cut off the easy, get them out the door letters, the things you're unlikely going to need to personalize, right? And that can just send, and you can devote your staff time and all that postage cost to other things. That's an amazing benefit.
So you can, Andy, is the rule still like 250 or under? You don't have to send is that what it was? The tax rule?
Yep, yep.
So-
It is 200 or 250.
Yeah, somewhere around. Folks on
Yeah.
the call probably know it. They'll be like, right now is the sound of 1,000 people typing onto the chat.
There we go. 250. 250 it is. Thank you.
I love it. Thank you, team.
Phone a friend sort of situation. Yeah.
There's people that haven't been getting it just because of volume, but like this, Austin, one use might be, hey, if we have an email, fire off an email. It costs us nothing for every gift below a certain amount, but you can also do it in addition to sending the letter, right? Like it's a nice sort of double.
Yes, you can do this in any combination you want. So usually our answer is if you can think of it, 9 times out of 10, we can automate it.
And I have a couple like examples, Nick, of clients that again we're using this. So we have a couple organizations that said, hey, we get a ton of acknowledgements, but we get a ton of $5 and $10 gifts. And when we look at like the net revenue after we print and post and the time that it takes to print and post and stuff and all those things, we're really not doing that much, right? So they opted that, below a certain threshold, whether it be $100, 250 as we talked about before, like they're just emailing those if they have an email in file and saving thousands of dollars a year in printing and postage, right? So that's one element. And also to your point, kind of the both and, we have some larger organizations that don't mail every single day, right? They might mail once a month because they're doing it at a mailing house. But if I'm a donor, I'm expecting like within 48 hours, probably like you got my gift. So we can email you something kind of right away, like, hey, you're amazing, we got your gift. And also you're going to get a paper version of this, like in the next, coming weeks or whatever. And then they get the print version of that essentially, within a month or whatever. So there are different ways that you can use this tool to tackle, kind of all of those different scenarios.
Love it. And Austin's right. I've witnessed it firsthand. Her and Stacy have said it many times and been proven correct. Like if you can think of it, like if you can think of it, if you can say the parameters, that are guiding the decision, they can probably automate something for you. And that's what is making this so incredible for everybody and why people are going bonkers and why every time anybody ever asks a question, like on a forum or something, there's 100 people that are like, hey, have you thought about automating it? Because it's just, once you do it once, like you can't stop. Like it is addictive. Like how much of your job you're like, you're not replacing people. You're taking the grind crappy part of your job and let the robots do that so that you can do the more fun, higher level thinking stuff. Okay, so you can email it, the acknowledgements, you can send letters, you can give a data file to a print house if you want. Andy, I bet this question comes up all the time. Yeah, but does it save it to the donor's record?
It sure does.
Oh,
And it marks it acknowledged.
Oh.
And I will tell you, having done several audits over the summer, the amount of gifts not acknowledged in the system that actually were acknowledged and just never ever converted is enough to make you want to throw up. So I'm just being real, folks. So yes, it does mark it acknowledged. It does save a thing as the attachment, and I think that's important too because inevitably, and you all have had them, donors will call and say, in 2 weeks, in a month, hey, I never got it. Well, you did, but we can send it back. Or more likely is in January or February when they call and say, hey, I'm doing my taxes and I can't find that letter. Can you generate, send me a copy? And rather than having to go through and generate a completely new version of it, right? You just go to the record, you print it out and send it. You can email it from Razor's Edge, you can send it as a PDF through email. Lots of opportunities there, but yeah, we save our work.
Love it. Okay, I want to talk through kind of some of the things we learned, and there's already a ton of questions here, which is what I love about our webinar. So I want to give us a bunch of time to just answer questions about this. What did we learn about this? So again, going back, PSG, consulting, running Razor's databases, dabbling in automation, coming up with some great ideas. The heartfelt email thing we conquered early, and everybody's loving it. Like, it's just cool. This is a little more complicated, right? So the emails we have down, we have it bundled in a way that people love. Gift acknowledgements, every organization is different, right? So each one of these projects we've taken on is a little bit more nuanced and custom, artisanal, if you will. I wanted to highlight some of the things we've learned, and just again, in Andy's words, let's be real with the folks out there. So there's a couple things. I think 4 things that we've learned. Number one, mapping out your process and your workflow will be eye-opening. And you can see that even in the chat here where people like, I'm trying to do this right now, but it's so hard and things are moving. Like a lot of people have never taken that step. Stacy, what was the software that you use? I know people are admiring the flow chart there.
Yeah, it's Visio, which is probably part of your Office 365 license. It's another Microsoft thing, super easy to use. There's
Awesome.
lots of them out there though, check it out.
Yep. So Visio is a good tool to do it, but mapping that out, it'll be eye-opening to you for a couple of reasons. One, it'll probably be more complicated than you think. Two, you will realize, oh, we're making a lot of decisions here that maybe aren't the best anymore. And the reason why any decision is made is because that's how it was made a year ago, right? That is why that is why your chart's going to look the way it is, because I don't know, that's the way we did it a year ago. Nobody ever changes anything. So mapping that process will be eye-opening, whether or not you automate it or not. I'm going to burst your bubble here too. I am certain almost everyone on this call, probably everybody, your letters, they're stale and boring. Why is your letter written a certain way? Well, that's the way it was written last year, right? Like
20 years ago.
yeah, I started at this, hospital foundation 7 years ago, and this is the letter they gave me, and I follow directions, right? Like, absent a process like this, we just don't spend a ton of time going back and taking a really hard look at, like, are these letters fresh? Are they really engaging a donor? And some of this too is because you didn't have the tools to personalize the way that you can now through automation. So you can tell that donor, like, hey, thank you again. That's incredible. You've been giving for 10 years or whatever it might be, whatever we can personalize it with. You will find your letters are stale and boring. That was the most eye-opening thing for us. So we get called in to automate these things for large organizations. It's typically it's a process. So Stacy and Austin and the ninjas do that. What we found in gift acknowledgments is that it's like 3/4 automation, 1/4 consulting, right? Like rewriting letters, polishing things. So it's sort of a hybrid thing that we do now. That's not all just sort of the back end ones and zeros. It takes a little bit of an art as well. Uh, Building on that, just a teeny bit. I should have put teeny tiny. That'd be more fun. Not a tiny bit. A teeny tiny bit of effort to personalize your communications will set you apart. The bar here is so low because of what we've already talked about. Every nonprofit, your letters are your letters. Nobody cares about them. Nobody thinks about them. They're just what goes out the door, and you worry about how fast you do it or not. A little bit of personalization to show the donor, I know you, I see you, I appreciate you, you're special, you're different. I can see how long you've been giving. I can see how much you've been giving. This is not a robot that generated this thing and sent it out like it's a person that cares about you. The tiniest bit of that will set you apart from every other nonprofit that donor is giving to, right? It will be remarkable. And I mean it, that word specifically. It'll be remarkable. It'll be something they remark upon when they receive a letter that's personalized to them, right? So the bar is low, set yourself out. The last thing we've seen it, everybody that starts down this path, once you see what's possible, you're going to want to personalize everything, right? So be warned, this is a gateway drug, right? This is automation is going to lead you down a path to more and more serious automations because you just won't want to go back to the way you're living before, right? So that's what we've learned about this. We have a ton of questions we want to answer. First, because some people are already asking about this. Stacy, talk to us about, as we're talking about gift acknowledgments, what about like that old tributes, honorariums, that side of the world? What do we know about it?
So in Razor's Edge, the way you're doing this now is you do a letter to the donor that made the gift and say, thank you for your gift in memory of Susie Q. And then you're going to send Susie Q's husband a letter that says, we received this gift from Nick in memory of Susie. And it's two totally separate processes in Razor's Edge. It's fairly manual. The data entry process is really finicky. So if you don't get it exactly right, your letters come out wonky. So yeah, then you print them and then you have to stack them together so that when you take them to the guy that's signing them, he knows what's going on. So yeah, it's a very, very tedious process.
And with automation, right? What you and the Brain Trust have done, what do we do different now?
So now Austin has figured out how to, if you find a gift with a tribute on it, you can go find the acknowledgee record and create that letter at the same time and then stack them together in your stack in your Word file so that the letter to the donor comes out. And then right after that is the letter to the tribute acknowledgee. And everything kind of comes out together. It's brilliant. It just saves scads of time.
Something that I use this example, like it works the way that anybody who hasn't worked in fundraising thinks things should work, right? Like the new development, the CFO that's like, well, why don't you just click the create, tribute letter button somewhere? Like this makes it all work the way that we assume it would work until we understand really how Razor's Edge is built and all the steps that are involved.
Yep.
That's awesome. That's incredible. One more. What about post-event letters? We get this question a lot. I think we talked about this at BBCon, right? So Austin, help us. What are we talking about here? Producing letters by gift versus constituent.
Yeah, so instead of doing one letter per gift, like you would in the acknowledgement process, this flips it around, right? So then it looks to the constituent record first and gathers all the gifts to a specific thing, right? So this is looking for gifts to the gala, and then it merges a letter where those gifts are summarized in a table with a total.
Which, as a donor, is the experience you want, right? If I'm Mr. Roy Kent and I'm everywhere, like I want to get a letter like this that says, here's exactly what you contributed. I don't want to get multiple letters. I don't want it to be weird. Like this is a normal thing that I would want. But up until automation, it wasn't easy to generate, right?
No, it was a lot of exporting to Excel and manipulating data so you could try to get it in the right order. So eventually you could merge it into a table, but Roy gave to 4 different sections and Keely gave to 2. And when you merged Keely, she got 2 extra lines. Like it was
Yeah.
just so much work to
I
get
have
stuff.
2 things. One, if you can't tell, we're big Ted Lasso folks here at PSG. But also, this particular thing is relevant in the ninjas. We had some hot topics earlier this week talking about acknowledging benefits, right? And so it is important as we're looking not just at gift acknowledgements, but if there are goods and services provided, being able to break that down and say, yes, your T-shirt for the fun run, or your chicken dinner that you had at the gala, whatever. Like, what is the deductible portion in this example? In those letters, that is something we will push you on to make sure that you're acknowledging donors for the appropriate amount of what is deductible versus what is not. Lots of organizations just say, you came to the event, you wrote a check for $1,000 and we're going to acknowledge the $1,000, not taking into consideration it cost the organization $200 and it's really an $800 charitable gift.
All sorts of great questions out there. I want to get to some of them that are asking about like Microsoft and licensing stuff. So Stacy, I'm gonna lean on you here. So like, how to get started with automation. So one, I'll share some like the stuff that we do, how we can help it. But like the people out there that are on their own, the people, the Stacys and Austins of the world that are like, I've been hearing about this long enough. I'm super smart. I love nerding out on if-then decision tree statement stuff. Like, what do they do? Like, where do they go?
So, I mean, if I can do this, any of y'all can do this. This is, if you're a heavy Razor's Edge user, you get how to make the computer do what you want it to do, right? So you're capable of it. So Blackbaud has some training resources in Blackbaud University. There is, in the Blackbaud community, there is a forum channel, what's it called, with the Microsoft Power Platform. Very active channel, tons and tons of Power users in there answering questions. So check out, I mean, I know Power Automate is a Microsoft product and they do have some training opportunities for Power Automate, but if you do the Blackbaud ones, that'll get you farther faster because you'll learn how to use Power Automate with Razor's Edge. So it's super fun. And like Susan said, it's really, really addictive. You like, once you start eating the chips, you can't stop eating the chips and you will think of all the things you can do. So definitely check it out. Austin has some good blog posts out there too with all the links to how to do it.
So you need Razor's Edge NXT, right? Because you need the API.
Yep.
You need Microsoft Power Platform, which costs what?
The Power Automate premium license that you need should cost you for a nonprofit like $4.75 a month or something. It's less than $5 a month.
Awesome.
Yeah,
And
$4.75, not 400.
Not $475.
Okay.
yeah, it's
$5.
everybody's surprised. You'll have a harder time getting IT to turn it on for you than you will justifying the $4 expense like a month.
Yeah.
So those are the tools you work in. All the resources that Stacy shared. We've done webinars in the past too, kind of walking through the journey. We get asked all the time. We don't provide training, so we're not built to like train people up. We're built to give away all sorts of free information and do stuff like this. But we actually are in there building. So another option you can do, you can have us build this stuff for you. You can ride along and you can learn as we go, and then you can run and take it from there. I know, Andy, we've got lots of clients that have gone on that route, right? They said, hey, come build something for us, like,
Yep.
right?
And that's the thing, and whether it's gift acknowledgements, it's the heartfelt emails that you showed earlier, like they just need somebody to kind of shepherd them. We also have had people that have said, hey, I've gone on and I've done the simple things. Now we're ready to kind of graduate to the more sophisticated things, which are, a little bit over their skis. But it should build level temp off of that, or some, but definitely different people. And I remember 100 people on the remember a time in which Stacy Cope said, I don't want to leave my DBA role. I'm terrified. Power Automate is so scary. I'm not smart enough. It's never going to work. I just, there's more, questions and answers. And here we are today.
I said
Yeah.
that like every day for at least a year. Thank you guys for not getting sick of me.
So put that in perspective. So Stacy's like, everybody can do this, and it's true. Everybody in theory can, but you got to take stock of yourself. Like, are you the person that is going to throw this on your back, overcome the challenges of having to learn something on your own? There is a community out there of people that have made it through, right? And they'll cheer you on, but it takes some brain power and some resources and some time, right? Like, so that is one route, and Razor's Edge community is full of people that fit that description. If that's not you, we can help, right? We'll help through these free webinars, and we'll always share what we know for free. Like, keep coming to these. But if you want us to build something, and I put up a survey there so that if you want us to follow up, we will. Andy and Mr. Mankey will. We can build something for you. We can build something small. We can build something large. You can learn if you want, or you could be like, you know what? It's going to have you build it, and then we're going to have you come back and build something else down the road. It's entirely up to you. We can reach out to you if you want. Otherwise, again, we'll be at BBCon and we'll talk through all this stuff there as well. Keep the questions coming. I just have a couple of free giveaways for folks, and then I want to get to all the questions. Okay. PSG cheat sheet. Austin, what the heck are we talking about here? That everybody is all over the forum asking for the latest link to the cheat sheet. What is this?
Well, when they built WebView, they started from scratch and they also renamed everything. So this is your guide to the 50 plus things they've renamed, and they're still renaming things. So we continually update this.
Give me an example of something that's called something in database view and then something different in web.
Yes, like attributes to custom fields, media to attachments. That's a fun one.
Proposals and opportunities are a big one for fundraising.
List of there's like
He wins the internet today because he's like also renamed WebView to something different. So like it really does never stop, does it?
and they're continuing to rename the rename. So that's fun too.
So you can download that there. We've been updating that. I always say we. It's not we. Austin and Stacy and the team and Rob behind the scenes here updating this as we keep rolling through the latest rollouts from WebView. So this new iteration, I think we'll have hard copies of this actually at our booth too if you want to swing by if you're in Philadelphia. So lots more free resources on the way. Let's get to Q&A. I'll stop sharing. Andy, see, you want to start it here while I get caught up reading through the questions?
So one of the questions was from Sonia. Do you this process change the sunsetting of database view? So not really. I mean, there will probably be a few changes here and there, but the underlying data that does these automations that we're working on comes from the database access through the API, which is also how WebView works. So yeah, database view disappearing will not affect any of these automations other than in whatever other changes they make to the system between now and then. So
we also got a question about where gifts are coming in. Does that matter? Does it matter if you're entering gifts through database view or WebView? And it does not. It all goes through the same bucket. And as long as you have NXT, as long as you have access to WebView, we can automate.
Excellent. And I would also, this is the part where I give Austin grief for Austin's already answered probably a dozen questions on her. As she's presenting, she's on the side typing because Austin lives to help people and she does such a good job with it. Okay.
She's also probably answering problems on the Facebook group right now too. Just like being
Nobody,
I wish I could show you my setup.
multitasking to next level. I see a question here, and I know Austin, you said you'd like to answer, but I'd love to answer. So I think love is greater than like, and that is Catherine suggested. Can we use a similar process, or do we have an automated process to issue year-end tax receipts or consolidated receipts for givers of recurring givers or people that just give multiple gifts throughout the year, maybe to different funds, appeals, campaigns, whatever. Yes, that is wildly popular. We have some that do both. We have some that do the acknowledgements kind of all year round, and then when January rolls around, we crank out all of those acknowledgements for them. And again, the year-end tax statements can be done similar to what we showed today, which is the email version, a print version, or both, kind of dependent upon what your organization wants to do. But that is wildly popular, particularly if you're an organization that has a lot of recurring givers that you need to generate those year-end receipts for.
Love it. Let's do the lightning round. Austin, can letters be automated using auto signatures, not having to get live signatures?
Yes, and it can be a combination of both. So if you want your major gift letters of 25,000 and above to be signed by the president live, but everything else gets printed with a dry signature, we can do that.
Awesome. Email acknowledgement. So this is email, not the letter. Can they edit it before being mailed out?
No. That's why we talked about email being sort of the low-hanging fruit, the things that you don't need eyes on, they can just go out. In the process of working with you, we'll identify the instances where you'll likely need to have eyes on letters before they're printed, and we will route them to the mail process always.
And I would suggest, so absolutely true. If what you're looking for is like a personalized donor experience, like email thing, the answer is absolutely yes, you can do that through something different. So not through this gift acknowledgement flow that they're building in Power Automate. Yes, through what Andy was talking about earlier with those heartfelt emails, like the sample that we showed you. You can
Yeah.
set something up so maybe an email above a certain amount, check to see which portfolio they're assigned to, and then draft an email for that person who owns the donor. Like all of that is absolutely what people are doing with automation, just not through this exact flow here. Wendy asked, does it have to be a link as an attachment, or could you attach a PDF? So can you do like in the body and an attachment, either or?
Yes, and for WebView as well, you can attach a PDF or the actual Word document of the letter instead.
What about Google Shops, right? Lots of universities, high schools uses Google instead of Microsoft. What does that do to any of that?
We can work with Google. So there are Google connectors in Power Automate, and if you want your files to end up on G Drive, we can do that. We can even link to those files in that attachment area in WebView instead of linking to SharePoint or OneDrive.
Love it. That was, as I read through, there's a lot of people that asked about that. Google's really done a good job. They kind of dominate. Google Suite kind of dominates the school university market, don't they?
They absolutely
Yeah,
do.
they
School,
do.
every K-12 school is a Gmail school. I didn't even ask anymore because it's just what it is.
Just the way it is.
is.
Question about, Andy, do you have a thought on how often should acknowledgement letters be updated? More than once every 10 years?
Yeah, I would say more than once every 10 years. It really varies from organization. I would say minimally, I would look at it annually. We have some organizations that, I mean, again, schools that have kind of different seasons. We work with a lot of faith-based organizations, like in the liturgical kind of calendar year, have different seasons. So they're trying to freshen up the letters based on what's relevant, right? So my alma mater, we give a gift and it's like, hey, homecoming's right around the corner. Well, I'm not going to get that in March, but I'm definitely getting it in September and October, right? So if you have the ability to kind of play to those things, you can do that. And honestly, we can set it up in a way where people can modify those letters, with relative ease. It's not like, well, submit a support ticket and hear from us in a month, like those kinds of things. It's not that level.
Yep. So for the people on the line, I would say if you can't remember the last time you refreshed your letters, the answer is do an overhaul right now. Don't try and do like the homecoming thing, and just like overhaul them for like make them personalized and modern. Once you do that, and if you build an automation, then jump to the point where like, okay, now we can do this seasonally, just because it's all suddenly there and available.
Yeah.
Stacy, what is it easy to update the created flow? They send different letters based on appeal ID. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, that's a great question. So editing the flow is not super difficult, or is a little bit more complicated, but what we make easy for you is changing the content of your letters. So you will have access to that letter copy is stored on in SharePoint or wherever you store things, right? And you can change those at will. And then the next time the automation runs, it will include your new copy. So if you wanted to, you could change it every day without having to do anything tricky. Some things are easy, like, if you have a different, let's say you add a new fund, and so you need to add some content for that fund. Some of those things you can also do yourself without having to get into the automation. So yes, they are kind of built to be easy to add things on and to update copy.
Love it. Last question here. So somebody asked about price, which is always the first question that should be asked.
Not somebody who is an accountant in the finance department. Love you, Laura. Ask about price.
So here's the deal. There's nothing that annoys me more than when like I'm looking at something and you can't find out what things cost, right? The answer is it depends, but let me walk you through what people are paying. So we have clients that are paying hundreds of thousands of dollars a year for like custom built like automation that's like saving hundreds of hours, right?
And people that they're not paying.
Yeah, like I mean, saving bodies and people that can do prospect research instead of grinding through. So like at the high end, tons of high end stuff like that. On the far other end of the spectrum, like we have clients that want an automation that, hey, send me a daily digest of people who gave yesterday. I can't find it any other way. I can't build in Razor's Edge. Like, do that. The emails, Andy, the heartfelt email packages, just roughly speaking, what is that? So this is the example that you went to Automate Genius and you get an email and it drafts it for you. What does that cost?
Yeah. Roughly. So year one is the most expensive because year one, we're looking at a setup price, like for us to set it up and then kind of a subscription maintenance price. That could be anywhere between maybe $6,000 and $10,000 year one, and then likely half of that year two.
Yep.
And so again, it scales from there.
And so that's for the email thing. For the gift acknowledgements, if you're big and complicated, it's more, right? So it's going to be closer to, you might be 15,000, 20,000, depending on how big and complicated you saw the org chart. Your first year is always more expensive because that's all is the building and customizing and tweaking. And then after that, you're just adjusting based on, random things that happen, like the API breaking on Blackbaud's end, or on your end, you change the person who signs in, you have to adjust flows. The real answer is if you're at all interested, just set up we'll share a link. Set up a time with Andy or Mr. Mankey on our line here, and they'll walk you through it. We're an open book on all this stuff. We just have to hedge a little bit because the answer is it just depends. If you're big and complicated and a Google shop, it costs something. If you're simple and straightforward and want something easy, it costs something else. But hopefully, Laura, that gives you some idea of where things stand. I want to plug some stuff we have coming up next, and then we can take a couple more questions here. Because what we have is more resources that people absolutely love. Coming up next, so for the folks that haven't already, we've been doing these webinars for years now, and they are a big deal to a whole specific group of people like us who are living inside a Razor's Edge. Webinars are great. We can tackle long form stuff like this and answer questions, but we always get, in addition to the webinar requests, we get questions about like, hey, how do I do a specific thing? Can you do training on XYZ? And that's why we started a YouTube channel. So we have Blackbaud Ninjas. It's on there. You'll see all the familiar faces of the people you love, Stacy and Austin and the whole crew. So you'll see, we'll put our webinars there, but like just lots of short form video, right? I'm looking here right now. How to share a standard report in Razor's Edge NXT WebView. A short little 4 or 5 minute video. We're going to keep we're just starting on this. We're going to keep filling it up, but this is rapidly becoming your source. If you're in charge of Razor's Edge for your organization, this YouTube channel, which is entirely free, and we're doing it on our own dime just because we think it's important, this is going to be your source to go and find stuff out, right? If you can't have the help you need through customer support through Razor's Edge, which is always hit or miss, if we're being honest, you may be able to go and just find a video that Stacy or Austin or Rob or Lauren or one of our amazing ninjas just put together for you.
Nick, can I jump in here for 5 seconds?
Because but let me get the subscribe link up first. Okay. There we go.
While he's getting the subscribe link up, I just want to talk about the relevancy of this. So in our Ninja chat this morning, Kim Berry said, hey, did anybody realize that you can now, search deceased records in the gift management tool? It was a function that didn't exist yesterday because Lauren said I tried to do it yesterday and it didn't exist. It existed today. And right away I said, hey, we need to get on. We need to do a short clip and put it on the YouTube channel. And Jen Briganti agreed to do that. So we're trying to, as we learn stuff, push that kind of relevant content out there right away. So if not today, probably in the next day or two, you're going to see a clip of a new way to search deceased records when using the gift management tool.
That is absolutely the perfect example of what we had in mind, like when we put this thing together. So just taking the knowledge and putting it out there in the world it's our goodwill gesture. Okay. Then I already plugged it, but I'll put it back on the screen. So if you follow the YouTube channel, you get alerted when you get new stuff there. We got the webinar coming out. It'll only be 10 minutes, which means it'll be
10-ish minutes.
It'll be an hour 10 is probably where it'll be this year. But restaurant recommendations, session recommendations, fun stuff about Philadelphia. It's just a lot of fun. So attend if you're going to BBCon, and even if you're not, if you like hanging out with us, we'd love to see you there on October 2nd. We will speak a great deal about the Taylor Swift album that's being released that evening. So if you're a Swiftie, that's also the spot that you want to go. Stacy, any questions that we want to get to here that we haven't addressed yet? Because otherwise, you know what's going to happen. They're all going to land on Austin's plate. She's going to email everybody individually.
We have a bunch of people asking about sharing the decision chart, and we are definitely not going to share that exact one with you because it's not actually an acknowledgement decision chart. It's just one that is pretty colors that we put into the
It's
PowerPoint.
the essence of a decision chart.
But we do have some that we actually use for acknowledgement letters, so we can see if we can find something for you, just so you have kind of something to look at to start from, because it is kind of overwhelming. So we can
Yep.
come up with something for you.
I would kind of like how you set up campaigns, funds, and appeals to support reporting, like the end result you want. That's how you build this too. So think about the end result you want and then build it backwards to how you're going to get there.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, I think let's wrap up there. This has been one of my favorite ones so far. So I started with a crazy week, and this is just what I need, a little shot in the arm here, getting back in the groove. Thank you, everybody that attends these. If you haven't signed up, there's so much to sign up for. Newsletter is where you hear about all the new webinars. Go to that BBCon page, and we'll have tons of resources for you so we can get on the Slack channel, and you can sign up for the preview webinar. And Stacy
Book a
Austin
demo.
are presenting. We'll have slides after BBCon and all the stuff there.
Book a demo. Book a demo, book a demo, book a demo. I want to talk to you about what you just saw.
Yes. Book a demo with Andy and yeah, I call him Mankey because we have two Andys, of course. We're a tiny firm and we managed to hire people with the same name. They will talk through all things automation. They'll get you pricing. They'll shoot straight with you. They're the least salesy guys in the world. They're guys that know a whole bunch about Razor's Edge and a lot more about the pain you're feeling probably than you realize. So we love what we do. It's all because of the folks on the webinar. Thank you guys for attending. We will see you live on October 2nd for the album release party.
And Nick's birthday, by the way. Just saying.
It is. There's 3 things happening that day. How about that? All right. We'll take off. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.